Hi everybody, just waiting for people to join in. Hi guys, how are you doing? Just waiting for more people to join in and then we can begin our today's session. Um, hi there. Guys, thank you so much for taking out time on a Saturday, and so I hope you all are doing good. Hi there. Hi. Let's just wait a moment and then we can begin. Great. So as you guys know that tomorrow is International Yoga Day, and we thought it's a great day to bring on this live session with you and talk all about weight loss with yoga. And no one size fits all. I would just say that everybody has different approach. Their bodies react differently to different regimes and different factors. So, but yoga is something, that is not only good for weight loss, but it promises mental well-being too. And maybe that's why it's said that, yoga is the mother of all exercises. And to talk all about this today, we have our expert Anubha Raman, and she's the go-to person with immense knowledge of yoga and its various forms. She's been practicing yoga since many years, and I think she's the right person to let all details out about sustainable weight loss. So let's quickly add her in. This session is very we'll keep it very short and to the point, so I'm quickly adding her in, so guys stay along. Hey. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very well. I love the way it's looking there. You've just taken me into the aura.
Your honor.
Yes, absolutely. So, Anubha, so you've been practicing yoga since years now and giving workshops to the corporates, helping pregnant women, postpartum, prenatal, weight loss. So, why do you say that it's a holistic approach to body and mindset? Even your studio name is Holistic, Anubha's Holistic Yoga.
Yeah.
So, how do you define the holistic in that?
So actually, number one, thank you for having me over.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure for
Thank
you to
you.
squeeze out those minutes today, because tomorrow I know how packed you are. Tomorrow is the
Right.
day of yoga. Yeah.
Right. So as the holistic studio, our studio name starts with a W, unlike the
Yes.
original spelling of H. So originally the plan was only to have wholesome approach and have only women. So the W actually stood for
W.
women,
Yes.
and the holistic approach towards
Hmm.
healing, towards weight loss, towards
Hmm.
everything like mental, physical, emotional health. And then of course we had
Hmm.
more men who joined in, and then we just disregarded the woman concept, but the holistic concept is still very much in.
Yeah.
Um, I have been teaching since officially since 2011, because when I was in college, I used to teach part-time yoga. So I used to
Wow.
teach part-time yoga, and I was into dance. I would teach classical dance and like Bollywood for like beginners and stuff. And then eventually I worked with my parent company with whom I learned, and then I split with them, and then I started teaching yoga, Pilates, functional training,
Hmm.
prenatal yoga. I did some advanced courses, and then I learned some Ashtanga yoga, and then I realized that over a period of so many years that eventually,
Hmm.
to achieve anything in life, we need a complete holistic approach, be it physical, mental,
Yes.
emotional. So it's all together, the amalgamation of all of it together works.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's great. So, let me start by putting it that many people believe that yoga is a slow process, and, how would weight loss happen with it?
So actually, I think it's a myth somewhere that yoga, it's a myth and it's a fact that actually yoga takes some time. It's unlike the gym where you would go hit a gym, you would run on the treadmill, you will do some cycling and you will achieve this instant weight loss. Because what happens is when you run on a treadmill, you burn a certain amount of calories and you go and check yourself on the weighing scale. You think, that you've actually lost weight, but it's all water
Hmm.
weight. When you
Hmm.
go back home, you eat something, it's all back. So
Hmm.
something that happens very quickly comes back also very quickly. Versus when
Yeah.
you lose weight with yoga, yoga doesn't just work on the physical posture, but it works on the internal. So your hormones are getting in place. If you have like a thyroid issue or you have a
Hmm.
PCOD issue, all those issues are first fixed. Your body is into some balance, because
Hmm.
these things happen only when the body has some imbalance. So yoga goes and targets your inner body, eventually giving you much longer weight loss. So even if you stop practicing yoga in between, you'll never gain weight. So
That's
that's
why I mentioned sustainable.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's sustainable.
Hmm.
It'll take time for some people. Some people just come and they lose weight. But I've known people, and I will not lie. There are people who kind of take 6 months, 1 year, but when they start losing weight, it's like, every month 2 3 kgs down,
Tremendous.
50 kgs down, because internally the metabolism got fixed, the hormones got fixed, all of that.
Wow, that's amazing. And there is also this stereotypical approach that I'm not flexible, and I can't do this. I can't even touch my toes. So how do you fix that mental definition?
So I think this block happens a lot of times with men, and I tell them that the first day, if you're trying to touch your head down to your knee, it's not going to happen.
Hmm.
But when you start practicing yoga, you also start opening up your mind and you start opening up yourself to the abundance of the universe. You start opening up yourself to the possibilities of the universe. Because
Hmm.
we believe that when you're physically very stiff, unless you've had some issue or an injury or something of that sort, if your body is
Hmm.
physically stiff somewhere, you are rigid in your life. And when you start practicing yoga over a period of time, you actually start seeing your body opening up to many
Hmm.
possibilities, and your body will become agile and flexible, and like it will start moving unlike the previous times. So it's a
Great.
myth that if you can't touch your head down to your knee, you shouldn't be in a yoga class. You must all the more go, because you'll open your dynamics from within. You'll understand something that you're holding on very rigidly to a schedule, to a thought, to a like a life. A lot of people are very rigid
So
about how.
how long does one take to form a routine? Like how early one's body takes up to it?
See, there are two different questions, because it takes actually 21 days. Scientifically, also, they say to
Okay.
form any routine, any habit, it takes 21
Hmm.
days. But to see your body opening up, I feel people start realizing in first couple of classes also. It depends how
Hmm.
you take to it. Some people are very
Absolutely.
rigid. Sometimes and sometimes I've seen people having awakening in certain classes. So it's your calling that will come naturally. And I've been so glad that so many of my students have turned to a yoga teachers now. So I feel definitely, it has an awakening
Oh,
within, and
wow.
it's a call that comes from within.
Absolutely. So let's begin by asking the popular question: how to do weight loss and belly fat? How to target belly fat, the abdominal fat that all women deal with yoga.
So there are these certain asanas which will really help. But I would recommend that if you're a beginner and if you really want to learn something in yoga, you should first of all learn the Surya Namaskar. Unless you have some injury or some, issues internally, then of course under guidance of a teacher one must learn. But Surya Namaskar is very good for weight loss. Just
Hmm.
doing abs exercise or just doing core exercise will not give us belly loss. That's a myth. Just working every day doing abs workout,
Hmm.
your abdominal muscles get used to the same exercises. So when we also teach in our class, I try and inculcate different exercises every time we do a workout, so that the body is just getting challenged every time. So there are these asanas like Naukasana, which is very good. Surya Namaskar is very good. Dhanurasana is very good. Shalabhasana. So if anybody is wanting to note it down, I'll just repeat it again. Naukasana, very good for the fat loss around the stomach. Surya Namaskar is very good for the metabolism. Shalabhasana and Dhanurasana also very good because they work on your spine. Whenever you work on your lower back, you actually work on your core. So you need to work on
Yeah.
your back and your stomach together to achieve weight loss.
Okay.
around the
And
around.
what is this new fad about, celebrities going gaga about Surya Namaskars, even, apart from their gym routine, like if you talk about Kareena Kapoor or Jacqueline Fernandez, so they went up to doing 108 Surya Namaskars every day, and that to post after their gym session. So is
Yeah.
yoga that promising? What is the power of Surya Namaskars, if I
So they
can put it like
say,
that?
the ancient yogis say that Surya Namaskar actually has 288 yoga asanas in it. So when you're practicing Surya Namaskars, you're actually practicing 288 yoga asanas. And if you do a very
In
slow
each
round,
Surya Namaskar.
so whenever you, yeah, it has that
Okay.
many amalgamations of yoga asanas in it. And
Okay.
every Surya Namaskar, when you do it very slowly, you kind of burn somewhere around 10 to 13 calories per Surya Namaskar. So, like yesterday also in the class, we did 75 Surya Namaskars, and I think we were huffing and puffing. And I said, let's go and check out. So I do that. I always go and check my weight before and try just to see how much one has been able to, like, because of the monsoons, we also have a lot of water retention happening during this
Water
time.
weight. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll actually see that you'll be drenched out, and you'll be literally sweating it all out. And also it works on the hormones, like it works on your thyroid gland. Your thyroid gland is very, very much important for your good metabolism. So I tell my clients and my students, the ultimate plan is to eat everything in life and still be thin, not just
Yeah.
just dieting all
That's
the
the
time.
dream plan of everybody's life.
So then one should do yoga. So one, that's the only way out. And I've always been a very fat person and fat child, and I had fat adolescence. So I think, and it took me some time also to achieve weight loss. It didn't happen when I was a yoga teacher. I was still plump, and like people will think, is she a yoga teacher? But over a period of time, by God's
Yeah.
grace, and it's been really,
Hmm.
really a beautiful journey that I feel that you just the body starts accommodating to anything and everything you eat. It just learns how to burn it off. So that's
So,
the
how
beauty.
many sets of Surya Namaskar can one begin with?
Ideally, one should do 12 on the left and the right, which makes it 24. But if it's too difficult for you, you're just very new at it, then just do 12. So 6 on the left, 6 on the right.
Okay, so somebody is a beginner, so like 12 at the first
It's
go?
good. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Okay,
It's good to go.
great. So, there's also this myth involved that, if I quit yoga, I'll be double than before.
That happens only in a gym. That doesn't happen in a yoga class. In fact, you might just end up losing some more weight once you quit a yoga class, because your metabolism has really. So when you
Yeah,
finish yoga class, it's not that you've just done the class and you're back to routine. No, the inner system is still working. There is still
it's
functioning. There's still
working.
blood circulation happening. So internally, your entire body is undergoing a mechanism. So even if you quit yoga, it's not that you will gain weight immediately. Of course, if you go binging on your eating and your
Hmm.
lifestyles, so but if you maintain yourself and if you just do pranayama
Hmm.
also, you will maintain your weight. It's not that you will gain weight, not at all.
Okay. And what is the best time to do it? Like people are time crunched these days. So what is the
Frankly,
best time?
I have very modern views on it compared to the other yogis. So I tell
Any
people,
time of the day.
because if you're doing a yoga class and your mind is on, I have to cook breakfast, then you might as well
Yeah,
finish your responsibilities and your duties, and then you come
absolutely.
to yoga
Hmm.
class, because you need to be mentally into the class. And
Yeah.
sometimes I tell people that if you're not feeling well, you want to sleep more, skip your yoga class. First
Hmm.
feel good, and then
Hmm.
the entire work of what you're doing in the
Hmm.
class will respond to much more than you can imagine.
Hmm. How good is to do it before sleeping?
Not really, because you'll get very activated unless you're doing some very slow stretching. Supposing you had a very tireful day, a
Hmm.
tiresome day, and you want to just like unwind and stretch yourself, you can do that.
Hmm.
You can just put your yoga mat. Of course, you have to see, the dynamics of dinner. ऐसे नहीं कि आपने खाना खाया and then you're just, you won't be able,
Yeah,
even you won't enjoy the stretching.
totally.
So just before the yoga, just before sleeping or hitting the bed is not a good idea, because it'll make you very hyper and active and energetic, and you would not want to fall off to sleep. But sundown, just before dinner you can do, or at the time of dusk you can do. So
Okay. So if you could suggest some nice stretching because everybody's working from home these days on laptop. So
yeah.
how to do some yoga stretches while
Actually, you want to really work on the neck. Let me just adjust the camera a bit. Yeah. So there are these neck muscles that one is really strained, and because you're like all the time, your head is bowed down and you're like writing and typing. So number one is you can just interlock behind and you can open yourself. So you have to press your neck and you interlock fingers against each other. Open yourself up, release. Inhale, open yourself up and release. So do this about 4 to 5 times every hour. You'll find your neck now getting strained. This shoulder rotation, backward, not inward, because you're already bending forward. You want to just allow your spine to have a backward bend. So just shoulder rotation with your elbows meeting together is very good. Then you can just stretch one arm, pull it in, look in the opposite direction, do it on the other side. Then take your one hand on the top and just press it down. You can just press it down, do it on the other side, press it down, and then release.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
good. So, if I shift a bit towards pregnancy also, so how good is to do yoga in pregnancy? I mean, I have personally done it and I felt great. So, if
I
you can tell us to a community.
Absolutely. So I've had somebody who delivered during the lockdown, and she was with me from her third month. So she was literally from me, from like her third month. Her second trimester was with me. Her third trimester was with me. Just the last 2 months we couldn't work out together, but she really, really told me it's actually talking on the horse's mouth. I'm not giving my
Yeah.
experience. She
No.
really said that she had a first pregnancy when she was younger, and the second pregnancy was obviously when she had aged a little bit more. And
Yeah.
level of comfort, she was like, I was just on the first day up and about, and I was active, and I was like just taking care of everything. Of course, she had a normal delivery.
Absolutely.
So
I can
even if
feel
you
that.
don't, yeah, even if you don't have a
Totally.
normal delivery, your body is much more in a functioning mode versus when you've not done any form of exercise throughout your pregnancy.
Yeah.
So certain yoga asanas, though we repeat the same, sometimes it's the same yoga asana that we're doing, but all of those repetitions are so important for the strength of the pelvic floor muscles, for the strength of your cervix, for the
It
strength of
is
your
great for
back.
natural birthing as well.
It is definitely, but of course, like I had someone who was very, very active during her prenatal with me, but her child pooped, in the belly,
Oh,
so she could
happen
not. Yeah, so like there's certain things which are not in our hands, but
in our hands.
still she had a flat tummy like in the first 40 days, and she sent me a picture from her home that I'm just going back to being normal. So your body is flexible, it's agile, it's in movement. So there is a routine that's already there in the body, and your body kind of adapts to the delivery also very, very easily. It's
Yeah.
not, and you actually also prevent postpartum depression. Of course there are people who still have it, but the chances of getting into a postpartum depression is way lesser.
And also, it relieves backache in pregnancy, yoga.
Absolutely, because
Any
imagine
particular asan that, you can name?
there is something called malasan, or I would in very lame term call it like a full squat. Of course one has to see one is not having a very low
Okay.
placenta and things like that. This one does in the last
Yeah.
few the last trimester, maybe the last 1 month, a lot of squats, a lot of lunges, standing lunges, not that you're walking in and forward, a lot of pocha, a lot of mopping the floor. There are techniques of how
Wow.
to do, but I used to make all my prenatal students do it in the studio. They would just know Anubhav will give us a kapda, and then they have to be on it. So these are one of the most beautiful exercises. Bridge, even lying down on the mat and doing some bridges really eases out a lot of back pain. Titli asan, butterfly asan, because you open up yourself and then your body really starts getting relaxed.
Wow, that's amazing. So, is it important to do it under guidance, or one can just switch on so many available videos and can just
I
start
think
yoga in
one
pregnancy?
should do under guidance, and because of the lockdown, as I mentioned to you, my prior student couldn't do the last 2 months with me, but she was hands on, to what she had to do, and she would take guidance with me on the phone. It's always better to be in consultation with somebody, you know. And so that so the other person can guide you, because every day is a different day. There would be days, she would feel certain pain in certain part of the body. So one should definitely do under guidance.
Totally. So, when I put in this uh, post that we are doing this discussion, so I had this question about accumulation of fat in the arms. Like, women have this issue.
That's
So how
the
can, yeah.
place from where
And
fat goes.
yeah,
It's a
and
fact.
it's really difficult to target because spot reduction is not possible. That we
Now,
all know.
it is possible. What happens is that eventually, when your body is losing a lot of weight, after you
Hmm.
have lost actually weight in kgs, you will see your arm fat also reducing. After you've achieved certain amount of weight loss, then toning of the arm happens with some weights, some push-ups, some planks. So I'll tell you, I'll just name 3 4 asanas that one can do. Bhujangasana is very good for one's arms. Then there is
Okay.
plank. It's also called Santolanasana. Then there are side planks, Vasishthasana. Then there would be push-ups. Like, I really believe that all women should learn push-ups because it really is a
Push.
very good toner for the upper body. One can do it with the knees down also, and picking up slight, very very light weights just to tone up the leftover, like flap around.
So the lateral raises, you mean,
Sorry, lateral
for the
raises. Yeah,
arms?
you can do bicep curls. Yeah, and you can do lateral raises in front and sideways. Even those exercises, even you can just pick actually a bottle. You don't have to like really have like a dumbbell at home. Just pick 2 bottles
Yeah,
and
I
just do.
think people are posting a lot of videos in this lockdown with oil cans and doing
Yeah,
all those things.
buckets. As acting like
Buckets, yeah.
hell, yeah. Yeah, I've also seen it and I was like, wow, this is such a good idea. And school bags also. Picking up children's school bag and making them weights.
People are going crazy these days.
Yeah.
So, how many hours of yoga in a week would you suggest, like for a beginner and also for somebody
3 to
who's
4 hours is good.
been
Three
long
to
in the
four
journey?
3 to 4 times is good.
Okay,
Excessive doing
three to
something also doesn't work, but 3 to 4 times. Moderation, yoga means moderation. Being in complete, even our classes are actually just 4 times a week, and then we have one weekend class. So we distribute in such a way that the body is not getting tired, because the body needs also recovery time. It needs time to heal and to recover. When your body is very sore and you push it more, when you push more and more workout, you will stop seeing the toning up because your body is not able to handle so much of excessive pressure. So you need to give breaks also.
So, like, do you suggest a protein diet with it or eat
Uh,
all healthy?
no, one definitely, if one is looking at weight loss, then one has to cut down a little on the carbs, but people go off carb completely, which is really wrong. It doesn't help because it leads to more sugar cravings and it leads to more other illnesses later on. So moderation
Absolutely.
of carb and protein like soya is good. If they're vegetarian, then they can have like homemade paneer also, which is like very good. Tofu is good, or one can stick to eggs, egg whites, whatever one. But protein is also good, but that you really need a lot of protein when you're doing a very hardcore class. If you're doing a very light class, then you really don't need that much of protein. But I do mixtures of class, so we have like a functional class sometimes. After that, we all need some source of protein for sure.
Absolutely. So, there are various forms of yoga. So, for
Yeah.
weight loss, what do you think? Which one is the most sufficing?
Frankly speaking, everything works. It's just there's the Ashtanga yoga, which is more vigorous,
Yeah.
and you really can't start with Ashtanga yoga without doing Hatha yoga. Hatha yoga is basic postures, holding. So you need to first get the basics. Ashtanga is a little bit more higher version because it requires a lot of jumps and a lot of stamina. And though I know people who are really old and have been doing Ashtanga yoga, but it's a period of time that their body became agile and they got the endurance in it. But the regular Hatha yoga is also fantastic for weight loss. One doesn't have to really do Ashtanga yoga to see weight loss and the difference.
Great. So, I had a DM about this Vikram yoga.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's the
So
hot yoga. So,
yeah, so
how
basically,
popular is it? There are
it's actually
studios
very
in Delhi
popular.
that there we do it.
It's very popular in the US. In fact, it came to Delhi also in Punjabi Bagh, and it did not succeed much because in US the temperatures are always in minuses, and it's very
Yeah.
difficult to actually sweat it out. So they raise the temperature to 45 degrees, 42 degrees, which is already there in India. It's already there in Delhi, so one just doesn't have to really go to a hot yoga class to do the asanas, and they stick to this 21 asan module. Though I haven't experienced it, but I have a
Okay.
lot of students of mine who've been there and done it. So it's basically a hot room, and they all are doing the same asanas every day. So basically, that is hot yoga. But even if you practice any form of yoga, it eventually would lead to being very hot and warm around you, and you will sweat it out irrespective.
I think,
So
yeah, without the fan, it gets. that
Yeah,
work these days.
absolutely. No, no
In Delhi,
fan,
at
no air
least.
conditioning, and you're already just like sweating it out.
Absolutely. So, let's see if we have a few questions in
Sure,
here.
sure.
Okay. Please share yoga asana for back and neck strengthening.
So for neck strengthening, as I mentioned, the shoulder rotations that were there, interlocking behind and really pressing your hand against the neck. Then there's also cupping of your temple. So you press the palm against the temple and then you release it. You press it, you release it. Other side, press, release, press, release. Then you cup your chin, press the chin or the jaws against your cupping or your palming, release, press and release. So 1, 2, interlock behind your neck, and 4, and shoulder rotations are very good for your neck. And for back, you can do Makarasana. You can actually note these names down. Makarasana is very good. Bhujangasana is very good. Titli Asana is very good. Majorly, we have back pains when our hip is not opened up. When you haven't been really exercising. So the moment you do hip openers, you will see that your back starts opening up.
Great. Okay. Just seeing. Suggest some 5 asanas for losing stomach fat. I think that was my question.
Number 1
the
question.
closing question, in fact. Yeah, the 5 ultimate yoga asanas, you could suggest for weight loss that really, really work and make a difference.
Okay. So I would, so there are kriyas and pranayams also that really help. I will talk of one kriya, which is Kapalbhati kriya, which is very famous thanks to Baba Ramdev. He's really made it famous in every household, by demonstration. So Kapalbhati is very good unless you have high blood pressure. You should do it only under supervision or you have a heart problem. Number 2, Surya Namaskar is very good for fat loss and weight loss. Number 3, you can do Veerbhadra. They're very good. So there are variations in Veerbhadra Asana. Then number 4 is Naukasana. And I would also like to share a mudra with you. You have a son around you. Okay.
So that's my daughter.
Oh, that's your daughter. So
Yeah.
number 5th, I will talk of a fat, actually not weight loss, it's called fat loss mudra. It's called Surya Mudra or Agni Mudra. You take your ring finger and you press it down. That's the mudra. You take your ring finger down and you press a thumb on the top.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. So this pressing, so whenever you're sitting in meditation or you're just sitting and watching television or you're on your laptop and you have some time, just do this. This really activates. It sends certain signals to your body which helps in increasing your metabolism and helps in achieving the fat loss you want to achieve. So Agni Mudra, you can read about it also post the session.
Wow.
It's really, really good.
And the asanas that you, I think, already mentioned, the Dhanurasana.
Yeah. So if I had to conclude 5, I would say Kapalbhati, Surya Namaskar, Naukasana, Veerbhadra Asana, which is also called warrior pose, Surya Mudra or Agni Mudra, and Shalabhasana and Dhanurasana. Because they work on the entire body. They work on your chest, they work on your stomach, they work on your belly, they work on your legs. So it's an entire process that happens. In fact, if you practice any form of yoga, any asanas, is going to help you lose weight. Whatever is excess in your body will anyway start diminishing. So that's
and also, mental well-being, which is so important. That the rise of this discussion is endless.
That's true. That's true. So I feel that all of us, like I said, when people come to my class for the initial few days, some of them are just opening themselves up, awakening to the real inner potential that exists within them, and one really realizes the huge possibility of life. So because of peer pressure, because of pressure at work, because of corporate pressure, because of so many pressures, family pressures, I think people...
Absolutely. And, even motherhood. A new mom has some level of pressure, which she mostly doesn't even addresses to anybody.
Absolutely. New mom, old mom. I think all moms are in continuous pressure.
Yes,
of having
absolutely.
children around them. And I think that, you know, when you have kids at home and you have it's once a child is born, it's your full-time responsibility. I don't have children, but I know it. I have
Absolutely.
all mothers around me.
Absolutely. Once a mommy, always a mommy.
Yeah, so
So,
you know, when you
I
have
would
kids,
also ask, sorry,
no,
a
no,
question here. There are new moms, and then they're feeding throughout the day. And I also, this is a question for my own self also. So I'm facing a lot of backache issues,
yeah,
lying down. So how does one deal with it? The backache asanas that you mentioned.
yeah, they will really help you. So uh, bridge is good. It's also called Kandhar Asan or Setu Bandh Asan, and Pavan Muktasan are very, very good for your back, and Makar Asan. If you just do these three asans, Makar Asan is number one asan for backache. Number two, Pavan Muktasan. Number three, Setu Bandh Asan is what you can practice for your back. And also backache a lot of times happens when you're really working all the time, when you're standing and your spine is erect. Basically, your
Yeah.
spine needs a little movement forward and backward. You know, when you give spine that movement, your body, your spine actually starts strengthening over a period of time. You need to do backward bend as well as, because we do a forward bend. We bend down to pick vegetables, we bend down to pick up our children or whatever. So we really, really, all of us need to do backward and forward bend both.
Great. So, I've been doing this cat and camel.
I'm so sorry, I'm not able. Rakini, can you just repeat your question again? Your voice is cracking. I think there is a slight signal problem that we are having. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we do have a bit of connectivity issue. Ragi, why don't you comment in the section and I will answer it till I don't understand, because I'm not able to like follow
sure,
because of the
sure.
connectivity issue. You can probably just
Yeah,
write into me. I think
absolutely. Thanks you, Anupama, for joining us.